Shabbat Shalom over there. Yes, good, isn't it? Yes.
He said yes.
Yeah.
Page 131.
שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, פסו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, פסו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני, שירו שיר חדש, שירו לאדוני כל הארץ. שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, פסו מיום ליום ישועתו. שירו לאדוני ברכו שמו, פסו מיום ליום ישועתו.
Return back to page 126 to Yedid Nefesh.
ידיד נפש אף הרחמן, ידיד נפש אף הרחמן, מה שכבתך על רצונך, מה שכבתך יא לי 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 על רצונך. ירוץ עבדך כמויין, ישתחווה יא לי לי יא לי 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 אל מול הדרך. ידיד נפש אף הרחמן, ידיד נפש אף הרחמן, מה שכבתך על רצונך, מה שכבתך יא לי 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 על רצונך.
The bottom of page 128.
إلى حمد ليبي خسنا بأن تتلم. إلى حمد ليبي خسنا بأن تتلم. إلى حمد ليبي خسنا بأن تتلم. إلى حمد ليبي Hosanna ve'ana tetalem. Elech hamda libi, Hosanna ve'ana tetalem.
Lecha Dodi on page 138.
Lecha Dodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. 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 Shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, Hishmiyanu el am yochad, Adonai echad, u'shemo echad, L'Hashem ol tiferet v'letila. Lecha Dodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Likrat Shabbat lechu v'nelcha, Ki makor habracha, Merosh mekeder nesocha, Sof ma'aseh b'machashava techila. Lecha Dodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Hitoreri, Ki va'orech kumi uri, shi'edaberi, Kavod Adonai alayech nigla. Lecha Dodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela.
We rise.
Boi v'shalom ateret bala, Gam b'simcha u'v'tzola, Toch emunei am segula. Boi chala. Lecha Dodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela. Lecha Dodi likat kala, B'nei Shabbat nekabela.
As we have welcomed Shabbat with Lecha Dodi, Trevor, I'd like to invite you to please join us here to light our Shabbat candles. And of course, before that, we take a moment to light our memorial, our yahrzeit candle as well.
Come, let us welcome the Sabbath. May its holiness illumine our heart as we kindle these candles for Sabbath. May the warmth of their glow peace impart. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kiddushanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner, lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. May the Lord bless us with Sabbath joy. May the Lord bless us with Sabbath holiness. May the Lord bless us with Sabbath peace. Amen.
Amen. Shabbat Shalom. Before we take a moment to welcome one another, let us acknowledge that we are in the lands of the Wajak people of the Noongar Nation as the traditional custodians of this country and its waters, and that Temple David stands in Noongar country. We sincerely pay our respects to Noongar elders past and present and acknowledge their wisdom, advice, just as we respect and acknowledge the wisdom and advice of our elders past and present. Shabbat Shalom, everybody. Let's take a moment to wish one another a Shabbat Shalom and welcome one another into this holy sanctuary.
Shabbat Shalom.
Voice is going. As we regather, we turn to Shalom Aleichem on page 142.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachem LaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Bachuni LaShalom, Malachei HaShalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech Malchei Hamlachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Zenton LaShalom, Kadosh Baruch Hu.
Let us rise for the Chatzi Kaddish on page 144.
יקרא ויקדש מרבה, ועלמא דיברה חירותי והמליך מלכותי, בחייכון וביום אחד, ובהי לכל בית ישראל. פגלה, פגלה, ובזמן קריב, ואמרו אמן. יהי שמי רבה מבורך, לעולם עולמי עלמיה, יתברך, יתברך וישתבח, וישתבח ויתפאר ויתרומם ויתנשא, ויתברך ויתעלה ויתעלה, שמי קדושה ברכו, לעילא מן כל ברכתה ושירתה, תושבחתה ונחמתה, תמירן גלמה, ואמרו אמן. ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברכו
On page 149. This is an hour of change. Within it we stand uncertain on the border of light. Shall we draw back or cross over? Where shall our hearts turn? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? This is the hour of change, and within it we stand quietly on the border of light. What lies before us? Shall we draw back, my brother, my sister, or cross over? Baruch atah Adonai, hama'ariv arabim.
אהבת עולם, בית ישראל, עמך אהבת, עמך אהבת, תורה ומצוות, חוקים ומשפטים, אותנו לימדת, אותנו לימדת. על כן אדוני אלוהינו בשכבנו ובקומנו נשיח בחוקיך, ונשמח בדברי תורתך ובמצוותיך לעולם ועד, כי הם חיינו ואורך ימינו, ובהם נגי יומם ולילה, נגי יומם ולילה. ואהבת אל תסיר ממנו לעולמים. ברוך אתה אדוני, אוהב עמו ישראל, אוהב עמו ישראל. שמע ישראל, אדוני אלוהינו, אדוני אחד. ברוך שם כבוד, שם כבוד מלכותו לעולם ועד.
May be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבבך, ושננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
On page 157. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say there is one God in heaven and earth.
The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love.
From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Lie, 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 la 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 la, la lie, 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 la 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 la, la lie, 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 lie. Mi kamacha bailim Adonai, mi kamacha neda bakodesh, nora tehilot o sefel, nora tehilot o sefel. Malchutecha ra'u vanecha, bokei hayam lifnei Moshe uMiriam, zeheli anu ve'amru, Adonai yimloch le'olam va'ed.
ונאמר כי פדה אדוני את יעקב וגאלו מיד חזק ממנו, ברוך אתה אדוני גאל ישראל.
השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, העמידנו מלכנו לחיים. השכיבנו אדוני אלוהינו לשלום, העמידנו מלכנו לחיים.
ברוך אתה אדוני הפורש סוכת שלום עלינו ועל כל עמו ישראל ועל ירושלים. Blessed are you, Eternal One, whose shelter of peace is spread over us, over all your people Israel, and over Jerusalem. And we say, Amen.
Amen.
For Shamru on page 162.
ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. ביני ובין בני ישראל, ביני ובין בני ישראל ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. כי ששת ימים, כי ששת ימים עשה אדוני את השמיים ואת הארץ, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת, לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. וביום השביעי שבת וינפש, ושמרו בני ישראל את השבת.
It's your last chance, people.
לעשות את השבת לדורותם ברית עולם. That was it. Till next week. Till next week.
I was waiting for one more clap. It just didn't come.
Next week.
Oh, what a shame. Right, Benny? What a shame. Let us rise for the Amidah on page 164.
Adonai sefatai tiktach ufiagite latecha. Adonai sefatai tiktach ufiagite latecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el HaGadol HaGibor HaNorah, El Elyon, Gomer Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei HaKol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot V'Imot, U'Mevi Gula Lifnei V'Nechem, L'man Shemo V'Yahara, Melech Hoseh HaMashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah Adonai, Magi Avraham v'Yisrael Tzara. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, V'chayei HaKol atah Rach L'Hoshia, Mashif HaRuach u'Murit HaGeshem, Maseach HaShemesh u'Murit HaTal, V'chagei Chayim v'Chesed, V'chayei HaKol v'Rachamim Radim, Sorech Noflim v'Ofek Olim, U'Mati Asurim, Umkayem emunato l'shanei afar, Mikamocha b'gvurot, U'midom Elah, Melech Emid, Umchayei, U'Matzliach Yeshua, V'nimad atah l'chayot hakol, Baruch atah Adonai, v'chayei hakol.
אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, הקדושים בכל יום יחלו חסלה. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש. We continue silently the prayers of our hearts or the words of the page until page 180. And then I invite you to please have a seat once you have concluded your personal prayers. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, O God, my rock and my redeemer.
Ose shalom bimromav, uyase shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru, amen. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael. Yase shalom, shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael.
Va'al kol yoshvei tevel. May God bring peace to the entire world. And we say,
Amen.
Amen. In the early days, after October 7, one of the images that has really stuck in my mind, when the Israeli tanks and army, the IDF, were starting to mobilize to head south towards the Gaza border, is we saw lines of volunteers throwing packages of food and whatnot in towards the tanks. And you saw the civilians in Israel along the streets creating massive amounts of packages and of all kinds of food and goodies, people getting together to bring all kinds of needs of what people needed for victims of the October 7th terrorist attacks, for children, for the elderly, of people who had to move, the survivors, they had to move out of their homes, and people who had to move out of certain areas, of a nation coming together with such strength and with such fortitude to help one another, to coming together out of love, out of compassion, out of a strong need to do something. This desire, this inner drive of, I'm here, it wasn't me, I want to do something. I've got a water bottle in my car, I'm going to get out and I'm going to throw it into a tank for a soldier. I've got something to give a pack. You saw people throwing packets of chips, of crisps. And we all know Israeli chips aren't that great, but it was something to give people, just this outpouring of love and of support within Israel, of the community. And we've seen that here as well in Australia, of people reaching out, wanting to do. Now, the hardest thing for us here in Australia is that we haven't been able to gather stuff, things, items to send. And I think that's where we have just felt that I haven't been able to do. I haven't been able to give in that kind of way. And I don't have an answer, to be honest. I don't have an answer because there aren't programs that I have seen. But we can help our community. We can be part of programs in our community to help our community here. And I'm not just talking about helping Temple David. I'm talking about how do we, as a community, as a Perth Jewish community, help? How do we get involved? Well, one of the days that's coming up is Mitzvah Day. Who here likes to lawn bowl? Anybody? Oh, yay! Judith. Lawn Bowl. Did you know they were going to have a Temple David team? It's going to be a Temple David. There will be a Temple David team for lawn bowling over at the Yokine Bowling Club, and we're joining with the Osborne Park Rotary Club. Now, to make it accessible, because $40 is a lot of money for some people, we have a member who is underwriting, or not underwriting, who is going to, what's the word? Subsidize, thank you. Who's going to subsidize the tickets. If there's only one team of 4, it'll cost you $15. Is there going to be 2 teams, so that's 8 people? Well, it'll be a little bit less. A little bit less, you'll have to pay a little bit more. But it includes lunch. I'll be very disappointed to hear if you guys have chosen the pork option. I'll be very disappointed indeed. But this is only one. You would have seen in this week's email, I made a point in this week's Machadash of showing all the different ways of how we are activating as a community, because there's lots of different ways that we can get involved and we can show solidarity with the Jewish people, not just with the Jewish people, but with the greater Perth community. To be out in the community, to be showing ourselves to do, providing we are safe. And I want to add that caveat. We wouldn't do anything that's going to put our community at risk. Esther, you got a question? Mitzvah Day, because the money is going to go to 3 different charities. The money that is raised, the $40, it's $40 to participate, even though that's going to be subsidized by a donor. That money is then going to be, the money raised through raffles, through other kinds of things, is going to be then given, thank you, that's an important question, to be then donated to 3 different charities locally. So you get to have fun. If you've never played lawn bowls before, do not worry. If you show up at 9 o'clock, you'll be taught how to play lawn bowls. Apparently it only takes half an hour to learn, and Bob's your uncle.
And it's not a competition, it's meant to be a...
It's fun. So for those 3 competitors over there, and then 12:30, there's an international buffet lunch. And come along and cheer everybody. Of course, there's Pride Shabbat coming up. There is a wider bridge. Come and support, come and hear what's happening in Israel from a completely different perspective, to hear how the GLBT community was being impacted prior to October 7th, certainly now after October 7th. We've got our Hanukkah stall happening again on Sunday, December 10th. This is a great way for community involvement, to volunteer, to show our solidarity. We need help in the morning to set up. If we need a couple of volunteers to set up a tent, it's like a pop-up tent. You push a button and it goes up. It's that simple, sort of. That's what I'm told. It'll take all of about 3 or 4 minutes, and then you're done. You can go home. I would never lie to you. And then everything's in the afternoon. Of course, people to hang out under the booth, schmooze, tell everybody about progressive Judaism and how amazing we are, and what a great sense of humor your rabbi has. That's true, right? So please, this is the time for us to be together, especially now. We can't be together in Israel, but we can be together now and here. We can support local causes. We can support community events. We can support Greater Perth events. So the different community events are like Pride, the Pride Fest, a wider bridge. We can be here to support and to remember. There's Kristallnacht, and Judith, you're going to be speaking for Kristallnacht. These are all important ways to commemorate, to celebrate, to be together. I know not everybody can be everywhere. That's impossible. There's a list here of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Choose 6 of the 7 to be at. Choose 1 of the 7. Show your support for our Jewish community. As I said, whether it's to remember, to march, to have fun and spin a dreidel. Let's show our Temple David support, our love, and our courage, just like the Israelis do. Shabbat Shalom. Let's rise for Aleinu on page 586. Josh, would you like to open our ark for us? All you have to do is pull a string. This is your mitzvah.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא נטי שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא, שהוא נוטה שמיים ויוסד הארץ, ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל, ושכינת עוזו בגופי מרומים, הוא אלוהינו אין עוד, אמת מלכנו אפס זולתו, ככתוב בתורתו, וידעת היום והשבות אל לבביך, כי אדוני הוא האלוהים, השמיים ממעל, ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד. ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
I'm sorry, I forgot. So friends, we turn to Kaddish Yatom, the Mourner's Kaddish, which we can find on page 598. But before that, we think of Samantha Wall and Marion Pathy Johns. And if you knew Marion Pathy Johns, she was part of our ITJ class most recently. She was the wife of John. And for the Shloshim, we remember Ruth Avasar and Bernadette Clegg, friend of Ray Finley, Marilyn Crew and Beverly Green, David Chiswell, friend of Bernie Williams, Joseph Goldberg and Otto Grossman, and Alice Sholvey. And of course, it's still part of the Shloshim and Shiva, all the victims of October 7th, and some are still being laid to rest and are part of the Shiva. And all the innocent victims of terror in Israel. And I want to say those innocent Palestinians that are being caught in the crossfire, and the victims of terror and war across the world. And the yard sites, we think of Joan Cohen, mother of Anthony Ingram, Denise Lee, mother of Alan Lee, Victoria Parker, stepmother of Daniel Parker, Eva Wise, mother of Michael Wise, Myrtle Carey, aunt of Ray Findley, Orwell Edward Phillips, father of Bruce Phillips, Helen Miller, sister of Lorraine Sivan, and Kay Jackson, mother of Nina Ambrose. If you would like to mention the name of a loved one, for Shiva, for Shloshim, or for Yahrzeit, please share their name out loud or in your hearts at this time. Zecher Tzadik Livracha, may the memory of the righteous be forever a blessing, as we join together in one voice in solidarity. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei Rabbah, v'yalmad divrach hiritei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayachon of yom echon, v'v'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'izman kariv v'meru.
Amen.
Yehei shemei Rabbah mevarach le'olam olamei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yitada v'yitaleh v'yitalel shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'elam min kol berchata v'shirata, tushbachata v'nechamata, damiran v'yama v'meru.
Amen.
Yehei shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chayim aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Oseh shalom b'mromav, v'yaseh shalom, aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru.
Amen.
Hamakom yinachem echem b'toch sha'ah havlei Tzion v'Yerushalayim. May the source of peace send peace to all who mourn and comfort to all who are bereaved in Zion and around the world, and let us say, Amen. Just a few brief announcements before we head outside for Kiddush and for Motzi. At first, we are welcome to have a seat. I'll try not to speak too long. Just to welcome those of you who are joining us through our live streaming. Thank you so much for joining us on Temple David TV through our YouTube channel. Tomorrow morning we have TDRS at 9 o'clock, and then I'll continue conversations about Israel. This is the last week for conversations about Israel with me, and then of course our services at 10:30. On Sunday, there is a Bring Them Home rally at St. James Street Amphitheatre in the Perth Cultural Centre. That's at noon. Everybody has to be gone by 1:30. That's by orders of the police. So you can be there by 12, but you have to be gone by 1:30. It's for everybody's safety. They're not anticipating any issues, but they just want to make sure the place is cleared by 1:30. And then, of course, the much anticipated and very exciting once-a-year annual general meeting at 4 p.m. Be there or be
Square.
It's going to be fun. Mahjong Monday is coming up, as well as at 6:30 and 1st of November. It's a very busy day, 1st of November. Wrestling with Judaism. Who wouldn't want to do that? As well as Intro to Judaism, Hebrew with Ken, and Adult B'nai Mitzvah. And then, please, I'm not going to go through everything that I mentioned. Read Ma Chadash. If you haven't got Ma Chadash, let us know. I know if you haven't opened up Ma Chadash, but I also know if you've opened it up 20 times. That's the back end of MailChimp. It tells me all that information. So believe it or not. Please do consider being part of everything that is happening in our community. Shabbat Shalom. Any other announcements?
Yes, Israeli dancers
Oh, it's back. Excellent. Okay.
Oh, so I'm so sorry it wasn't mentioned. Dancing for Peace?
It's been on for 2 weeks, so that's probably why.
Okay. So sorry. Israeli dancing. That's another way to support Israel. Learn how to Israeli dance. Anything else? All right, our final song is Kol Haolam Kulo, the whole world is a very narrow bridge, page 643. And if you know the actions, like, come and join me on the bima. I'm going to do them. Of course I am. You'll learn them.
Kol haolam kulo geshetza meod, geshetza meod, geshetza meod. Kol haolam kulo geshetza meod, geshetza meod. V'haika, v'haika, lo lefachet, lo lefachet klal. V'haika, v'haika, lo lefachet klal. Kol haolam kulo geshetza meod, geshetza meod, geshetza meod. Kol haolam kulo geshetza meod, geshetza meod.
1, 2, 3, 4.
V'haika, v'haika, lo lefachet klal. V'haika, v'haika, lo lefachet klal.
The whole world is a very narrow bridge, a very narrow bridge,
A very narrow bridge.
You see, they do that. When you do it in English, the actions go backwards. Bridge, narrow, very, very narrow bridge. Shabbat shalom, everybody.
Shabbat shalom.